your team, trade them out. Brag it to your mates like you never had a doubt. It's FMDT coming around for you. Cause no one really knows the way you pick like you do. Injuries or worse, suddenly retired and hurt. Get your backs, forwards and mids, never satisfied, you boys got the shits. It's FMDT coming around for you. FMDT, 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 FMDT coming right for you. FMDT, there's nothing you can do. FMDT coming around for you.
Welcome everybody to FMDT. We're here for another episode covering the last 3 rounds of actions, rounds 4, 5 and 6. So it's a big, chock full of things episode. We're in a completely new location this time. We are at Harry's Bar. A bit of a change this time. There is a ledge at this location, but if anybody was going to come across it, I think they'd be falling off several stories down. So yeah, so we're only going to bring you up here before we really want you out of the week.
It's an oldie but a goldie to celebrate here at the Harry's Bar. We've had a couple of episodes here before and served us well, so we're here back again. And just to review, as Bart said, the last 3 rounds.
Absolutely. So let's crack straight into it. So 3 rounds of action, guys. Shane, my right-hand man, how have you found...
Even on the right.
Exactly. There you go. How have you found your last couple of weeks?
I don't know, what's happened?
What's happened?
Well, I can run you through it. So basically what has happened is that, I mean, like probably the best result of all, I think you beat Bart around about 3 weeks ago.
That's right. That was good.
Can you go into detail about that? And how good it was? And what were your best plays on that day?
I don't think I need to. I mean, if it was the other
Oh no,
way
it's okay,
around-
I will. Let's have a look. So, we have Cornflakes versus
Yeah, have a look at my bench and I'm going to explain a lot about that
Seedsman,
game.
Pendlebury, Caniglio, Gaff, Merritt, Apple, and Jeremy Cameron. Oh, jeez, yeah, that was a great game. Yeah.
Is
Anyway.
that how you felt about your last 3 weeks?
Basically.
Just
Seedsman.
still sitting on that ring.
Casing along.
Merit. Yeah, that's basically a summary of my last 3 weeks.
Well, you won your last 3, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so...
I had a showdown with the ladder leader this week and just didn't even put up a fight, so I am now the ladder leader.
Yeah, I've noticed that, so looking like the man to be.
I don't know if I like being in that position as the one being like chased down, but you know, I've never been in that position.
You're not used to it, so fair enough, man. It's a bit of an unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, it's a bit scary.
I can give you some pointers if you want. Just, yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
I set on the prize, mate.
Alright, also we had...
What have your highlights been, Cam?
My highlights, well, I mean, my highlight was...
You had any?
Gee whiz, it would have been around about 2 weeks ago where... I don't know, I just like toppled the ladder leader, just Max, pretty casually, might I add, just with my team, and they did really well.
Yeah, so that's 2 losses in a row for Max. So both of you guys taking him down. So can't be happy about that.
Suck it.
So it wasn't a very good result for Max. I mean, to be fair, he had a lot of players into it.
I was just about to say, he has a lot of reserves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Hamish Harland, he had some reserves in the break slushy area, managed to pick up a ton. Jack Stephen picked up a ton. And Ben Cunnington and Kerno, which was a pretty good trade at the time, and Travis Boat, all picked up tons. And it was really good. So I think that kind of signaled the end of I shot the sheriff's error at the top of the ladder.
Oh, you think he's coming crashing down? He's gone. Calling it now.
I'm not going to write a song about it, although I do have a rap song that I will try and jinx Max with in the next coming weeks.
Well, speaking of songs, it was your song that propelled me into, well, out of being at the bottom of the ladder pretty much and looking at a very dire season into heading straight forwards, because as soon as that song came out, which I have to thank you for, Cam.
It's pretty fucking catchy.
After consecutive losses to Cam and then me.
Pretty bloody catchy. The team's fired up, and mostly Gorn. And you mentioned him a lot in your song, but I don't mind if he's the only thing that makes my team good. If he produces 140s every week,
I think that was almost the best song you've done so far.
whoa,
Best FMDT song.
Thank you.
I mean, apart from the theme songs just can't be beaten. But the next one,
it's going on the compilation album.
going on.
So
Song
yeah.
number 2 of the compilation.
Look, my highlight this week, just because I've got to touch on it, was this last week. I top scored the league, and it was a fantastic result. Going into it on Sunday, I had a crap ton of players. It seems like this is the same thing that happened. I had a lot of Anzac Day players and Richmond and Melbourne players.
Right, so they were all carried over to Sunday.
And they're all my best guys. 4 of them produced scores over 124 on the Sunday, which propelled me into an unlikely victory. I actually needed, at the very end of the day, like it still wasn't looking that good. I was still kind of behind. I
was with you on Anzac Day actually, just like having a bit of a look at that, and it was a very tough between you.
Talking about last week.
Yeah, and also the next week's. I mean, like the weeks were pretty close.
Right. Yeah. So
like the last one in particular in regards to UN Security Council. Wow. It's like just
well, I needed Jack Redden to actually beat that fight.
That was it, yeah.
And that
was nonsense.
I pretty much wrote it off. As soon as it came up to that, I was like, there's no way that Redden, who has been averaging 66 this season, can beat that fight who's got an average of 112. There's almost like a 50-point difference between them. And man, Jack Redden finally came through for me.
What was the
massive score?
What was it half time? Like around about Jack Redden 70, he was going off like a frog in the sock. And that fight was around about 40. It's like, and that fight will come back and at least even it up.
Well, it's Elliot Yo that are going to help thanks for that one, because he tagged 5 out of the game. Probably really helped the West Coast get the win. Really. So 5 was not to be spotted. Redden had the game of his season, probably the best game he's had in several seasons, really. And so
since he was at Brisbane.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Since the old Red Rock days.
Oh yeah.
That Red Rock combo. So look, it's all looking good for me. Top scorer of the league. I am absolutely on fire, and so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a reminder, maybe for the people that hadn't watched a couple of weeks ago. We got a new trophy. And I just wanted to remind everyone of the person that's got that on their mantelpiece, and the person that is rightfully the holder of that right now. Maybe a little bit of video footage there for everyone.
Wait, so you're showing the trophy that I'm going to have on my mantelpiece?
Yeah, no fuss about it, Shane. That's yours. That's totally yours.
Yeah, settle down, man. I think you got a butt right there at the moment. So,
well, speaking of that,
how's that looking?
But so.
No, it's with that part.
Going back to last week.
I heard the wife's in love with it.
I was up on a ladder, chopping off some branches off a tree.
An actual ladder, not
an actual ladder, like chopping off some tree branches. And my
handyman Shane,
my lovely wife, she says to me, "What did she say?" I told you. She said, she was like, "Don't die," or something. Like nice like that.
That's
and I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, but if you die, can I get rid of that butt trophy?
Obviously loving having it in their house.
So just so you know, it is out on my mantelpiece.
Fantastic. Well,
but I did tell her if I do die that she has to return the trophy to you. So, just so you know, it's coming back your way.
Let me just inject a bit of footage of that on your mantelpiece right now. It looks beautiful, Shane.
Get your butt off the mantelpiece, Shane. Fucking like that.
Well, it's
What are you doing? Jeez. God, you got married, you're still an animal.
That's the weeks that we've had wrapped up.
Well, I mean, like,
how is the rest of the league looking now?
Well, just from about 3 weeks ago, we'll start with round 4 because we haven't been on for about 3 weeks. We've got Tony Nuts getting his first win over myself. With 1440 over 1300.
Which actually brings us to a moment in FMDT history. So we're going on a bit of a rampage now, editing in a few little clips. But I believe there was a moment last year where someone else had lost their first 5 games And it took them a little while to pick up that first victory, and they were thinking about giving up on their season. So maybe a little bit of inspiration for what could happen to the Dunkin' Donuts. Let's reminisce about Scratchy Squires.
The little squires that cool.
So you've started the season going through 0-3.
Am I?
You have.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like my team.
Doesn't sound like your team? That's unfortunate then.
Yeah,
Is it time to throw in the towel?
I guess so.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It is. You've given up.
Well, let's see what happens tomorrow. In my, with my team. Do I go 0-4? That's when you give up. Just Sydney.
Ah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. If Paddy Dangerfield gets 187 tomorrow, then still in it. But otherwise, no.
Otherwise you'll be tanking?
Tanking, yeah. All my players up for auction, except my keepers.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we know, he came back between 2 pots.
He scratched and clawed his way back and he entered the final. It was
pots?
brilliant. It was a great story last year. Great story.
I don't remember. Whatever it was, it didn't work out. It was the way I attempted to. There was that beautiful crow, though, that it made everything pinpoint.
Oh, maybe you should go back to Brisbane.
Oh yeah, well maybe I'll pay him another visit. Maybe that's what he needs to kickstart. Oh no, he's going around.
Well,
Maybe I need to pay a visit to the Dunkin' Donuts household.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, overall in the league, we also had, about 3 weeks ago, we had UN Security Council get a very, very tight win over Kieran. He almost got his first win of the season, but he was 7 points shy, which is really unfortunate. We also had Kieran with Envy still winning, just in round 4. In the next round after that, we had Gone Baby Gone, just having like a bit of an Anzac Day clash with the Men of Steel. As long as like getting in and but won that one.
And our theme song, your song, was playing pretty proudly that day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what we're doing. That's inspiration for the lads. In fact, I locked them. What I did was I got them into a training session. I locked them. Yeah, that's right. Locked them away and just play that song over and over and over and over again.
So it's like an Adelaide Pros training camp.
Exactly.
Yeah, great. Nice. Cool.
Works a treat.
Great. We also had, I think last week we had Sahil come back into form, and he came back convincingly over Bunny's backbench to beat by 200 points. We also had Kieran racking up his first win, actually last week, with over Green with Envy.
Yeah, and
that's a shocker.
Yeah, long time coming. Green with Envy has been struck with injuries, so not too much of a surprise.
Kieran won with a 1400 score.
Yeah, I know. Pretty lucky when that happens. It wasn't the lowest winning score of the round though. That was the UN Security Council. 1459, and he's actually made a habit of winning with mediocre scores this season. Pretty much all his wins have been with 1400s.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like that was happening last year as well. I can't remember what it was. Oh well. We can't go back in history. Just keep going in.
Not that many times.
Considering in recent history.
I'm happy to live in the past.
And this week kind of
Got a silverware to show for it.
this week order kind of restored itself, where Men of Steel beat the Dunkin' Donuts. We also had Sahil beating myself, just by 200 points. Green with Envy beat Ian, unfortunately. And Nick actually got a win with over Kieran. But I guess
I don't know about order being restored with Bart getting the highest score in the whole league.
You heard it here first.
I don't know about that.
I mean,
It's the way the league should be, guys.
well, I mean, it was very, very unfortunate because he only won by 30 points. And he went Security Council. I mean, like,
It's not unfortunate, mate. I've used my time to perfection. I busted out the high score when I needed it. What was interesting about this round is that there were a lot of high scores.
Yeah.
So, in fact, out of the top 7 scores for the entire season, 4 of them happened this round.
oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And so
4 of the top 7 for the season.
Brett had the 7th highest score for the entire season and lost to you and lost to me. So that's incredibly unlucky. I know.
But I mean, what did you have, the second highest score or third? Or?
Second highest score for the season. So Max still claims the top top
Top
score.
high scores? Yeah.
Top high score. But yeah, definitely a huge week for most people. Most games were not that close though. I mean, hoping that it's a trend because most of the season has been spent with people getting pretty rubbish scores. Lots of injuries playing about, lots of mediocre scores. So I hope this is a trend for good things to happen.
Well, one random stat. I know we don't like to go into stats anymore, but one random stat.
Yeah.
Two players.
We love stats, what are you talking about?
Two players in the league have scored 100 every single week
Oh, is that right?
for the first 6 rounds. Do you know who they are?
The Madden. I don't know. 100 for every single week.
Every single week for the first 6 rounds, there are 2 players.
What do you mean they've scored 100 exactly?
No, like over 100.
Over 100?
Yeah.
Oh, they've scored over 100 every
Yeah,
week.
there's only 2 players left.
Oh, okay.
There were 5 2 weeks ago.
It's not Titchell.
It's not Titchell.
Is it Max Bond?
It's not Max Gorn.
That's a good question. It's not McRae either. He went under it.
Definitely. He got a 99.
Yeah,
he was very close.
Extremely
99
close.
last week.
So it's not one of these. It's not one of the top guys.
I'll give you a clue.
It's not Tom Mitchell. I think we got tagged.
I'll give you a
twice.
clue. I'm the one that's bringing this up.
Okay. Pendlebury. Mr. Consistent. Mr. Pendlebury.
Mr. Scott Pendlebury is one of the 2 players that has scored 100 every single week. My number 1 pick.
Might the other one be Andrew Gaff?
No,
Damn it.
it's not Gaff.
Who else does
But
he
it's
have in his
close.
team? It's one of Shane's players. Who is it?
It is a player that you both had last year.
Oh, Caniglia.
Yeah, of course it is. Tearing it up. Yeah.
Anyway, that was just a recent history that we bring up.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So, absolutely.
My top 2 draft picks have not gone under 100 this year. I feel like
That's incredible.
that
So-
is like incredible. What you want from the top 2 draft picks?
Yeah, definitely. You want consistency, and Pendlebury's basically living up to his name. So, beautiful stuff there. There's been a lot of things that have happened over the last 3 weeks. Nothing better to start with than trades. There's been quite a few trades that have
And
happened between
interesting
teams.
trades as well.
Very interesting ones. So there's been
Probably the most innovative trades that I've ever seen.
Well, we'll kick off with the most innovative trade, I think, of the league. It's the one that happened after filming our latest FMDT episode. The last FMDT episode, I should say.
Shouldn't have left, basically.
That was the 3-way. Left alone to our own devices, Cam,
Left
Ian,
them with friggin'
and
Ian
I.
and Cam. Jesus.
Well, I had a good chat to him. It was a good 2-hour trading session.
It took a long time. It took about 2 hours.
It took a lot of
it
took a lot of pineapple juice.
Yeah.
Given to Ian.
Yep. And in
A
requested
non-drinker, it should be noted, so I didn't get him drunk. We got drunk.
But you just said I'm a non-drinker. It should be noted. I'm glad that was clarified.
Do my best trading
Yeah,
after playing someone with pineapple juice. So just to recap on that one, we can look forward after 3 weeks. So it should be noted, not everybody knows that Ian actually was originally being offered Vogue in that deal. So he got McRae and Murdoch instead.
I offered him Vogue. I was just like, well, that's fair. And he goes, oh, what's Murdoch sitting on your bench? I'm like, well, okay, we'll go for it. Well, Murdoch, just go.
At this point, Murdoch was not even in the team.
He wasn't even playing. He pointed him out. He did. He literally just pointed him out on your bench.
But congruent with his interview, there were a lot of chances in that Geelong side that he thought that Murdoch was thriving.
Well, Murdoch has come back and averaged 67. Vogue, in the meantime, at least he's playing. I mean, we thought it was going to be worse than that. Vogue, in the meantime, has averaged 87. So he might be regretting that one.
He doesn't have regret. He doesn't know what that word means.
Yeah, I'm not sure he does. I think we might have to have another interview with him at some point just to see if there's anything left that he thinks. I don't
Like, just towards that 3-way trade.
Yeah.
Because it's basically like, you traded McRae for Heppel, which is like a straight swap, and then you got Treloar for Mitch Wallace. And I think a lot of people were not very happy with that.
That's because you're looking at it as a straight swap, right?
Which it was for you.
It's, well, no, but you got to think about what people were giving up. So yeah, I gave away McRae for Heppel, which is, think about McRae for Treloar instead to start with.
Okay, so then
Because that's a fairer comparison.
and you're swapping Heppel for
Mitch Wallace.
You're swapping Wallace for Heppel.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah.
similar thing.
I mean, if it was both involved, I think the trade would have looked a lot more even.
Definitely.
Sure, I'm really happy about it. I'm happy that everybody agreed with it. I'm not gonna, Trelaw's done way better than I thought. It wasn't always gonna get 134 average.
No, that is pretty good. Exceeding expectations, but anyway, I was just thought I would address the vitriol.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody in the trade was happy, and you might question why, but well, we can ask Cam how do you feel about giving up Trelaw now.
No, nothing. I know you regrets. No, I mean, like,
there you go, mate. Perfect.
Keno just.
I mean, some people.
You know, he's still got like fluctuates between that like 90 to 130. Once Calvin Blue starts come back into the midfield, he'll be able to get more of the ball. Wallace, super happy. So.
Well, I'm glad you're not full of regrets, because that's not the way I trade. I'm full of regrets about the trade that I did with you.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Okay, so Zaharakis for Heffel.
Yep.
And Wingard for Hibbert, which is a trade that we tried to get done just before lockout. It went through, what was the thing, like 4 minutes before lockout?
Yeah.
Actually happened. And Shane hardballed me, man. It was like I was really trying to push for it. I really wanted a forward. I didn't like Hibbert. I thought he'd lost kick-ins. I was like all done with him. And I thought it was a good trade, but he was still like, yeah.
I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it was a good trade for me, and I was waiting for Alec to give me advice, but he didn't reply at all.
To be fair, it was better than the trade that you offered me originally, which was Papley for Hibbert.
Which you were thinking about.
Which I rejected instantly and gave you a much more considerate trade on.
They were averaging the same.
Yeah, that was your...
That was my...
spiel.
That was my pitch.
Yeah. Look, so after that, I had the displeasure of watching Heppel play Port and absolutely rip them apart and get... What did he get? Like 130?
Something like that. Something like 40 points more than Zaharakis.
Oh, Wingard did sweet fuck all. And then obviously the hamstring now.
But also the waiting game, I managed to upgrade your offer of pick 14 for pick 12 up to 7 for 6.
I don't even want to offer you any trade upgrades, but yeah, I got really stressed out by the trade not going through. Well played, man. For someone that doesn't trade very often, you've done very well.
I wasn't even sure I wanted to trade, but I'm happy with it.
The only thing that's in my corner at the moment is that Zaharak has actually out-averaged Heppel since the trade by 2 whole points.
That's Zaharakis. We'll see.
But speaking of people that don't trade very often, so we somehow got a trade out of this guy. It might have been inspired by the fact that Sahil previously did a trade with Max. Sahil, who holds onto his players for dear life, makes people sign blood oaths, which is they won't trade people, won't keep people, and that's it.
Oh man, Sahil.
Traded away Aaron Hall, Joe Danaher, and Luke Hodge for Charlie Dixon, Jeremy Howe, and Ed Langdon. How about that?
Massive trade.
Yeah.
Like just how just racking up
this
last week in defence for like around that 120 or even more than that.
Well, between those 3 players that Sahil got in this week, they got 339 points, which is 113 points each.
Yeah, right.
That's absolutely mental.
Yeah.
And how many did Aaron Hall, Joe Danaher, and Luke Hodge score this week? Between the 3 of them?
Given that 2
Are
of
we
them
talking
didn't
about the
play.
AFL or the EFL as well?
And Joe Danaher is probably going to be joining them in the VFL. He should be anyway.
He should be. I totally agree.
Absolute disgrace.
He's started to line up sideways for his set shots again.
I don't want to watch him anymore, and I feel like Max is sort of... He definitely did a classic buy low, sell high move
Classic
here.
Max.
But sometimes when you buy low, those guys just stay low.
Stay low.
And that might be happening in this case.
They just play in limbo.
Yeah, I don't know about Danaher this season. Luke Hodge is probably going to miss a few more games. He'll be back this week. And then Aaron Hall, maybe his time in the reserves is torn into something. But
His time should come. I mean, he's one of those guys that should do well.
He does
By the end of
well,
the year.
like on the half forward when he's just like going from mid to like half forward. But because he's such a small stature, he can't be in the middle all the time.
Don't forget that Sahil sold him the week after the guy got like 20 points. And dropped. So he hardly got any possessions, just had worst game that you could imagine. You got to be lucky at Langdon though, as a free support.
Oh, it's a free support, yeah. He's doing pretty tough. Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
sneakily averaging like 104 or something from the last 3 games since Cycle got it.
You talk about the first draft picks like of Fraser and Sarah. Well, as Langdon, it's been knocking on the door for a couple of years now.
Well, immense talent. Like, breakout was coming, I guess. Should have seen it. And I think Starker was a huge beneficiary of that one. So we did have some other trades that happened as well. One other quick one was Ryan Burton for Mike Hutchings, which was a bit of a nothing for nothing trade, but the significance of that was that Steve picked up Hutchings, literally traded him away like an hour later. Straight after picking him up, he was a free agent, so it wasn't like a waiver pickup, but he at least waited until the teams were named and just shot in there. It's just a funny one.
It's a nothing trade, but it still annoyed me because of the fact that Scratchy just literally picked him up. He could have picked him up 5 minutes earlier for anyone. So it's just frustrating. I don't really want Burton.
Myself, and both of those are droppable players, I guess, so not much to worry about, but still.
It's just
very funny to just pick someone up straight away.
Trade to Ian. Nobody else.
Only Ian will do that for you. Look, we also had some controversial loans happen. Cam, I am well aware that you're not a big fan of loans. Just to run them through for everyone. We had Caleb Daniel, Jordan Lewis for Griffin and Viggs, with the proviso that once Jordan Lewis was named to the squad, those players will be traded back. And I traded Wingard for Shane's Taverner so that I could utilise my loophole.
It's not that I'm not a huge fan. It's just that like, when it comes to the business end of the season, when it comes up to the finals, is this something that we've got to veto? Because I don't want a blanket rule where we're vetoing things for the sake of vetoing things. Because if you veto things like a lone player, let's say a middle tiered team is going to like loan one of the best players.
You think this could actually affect the results significantly?
Absolutely, yeah.
How's it different to someone selling out their team like Shane did last year and I did the year before that, and just getting higher draft picks?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if this happens this year, don't make a blanket rule. Don't go like throw your arms up in the air because it's unfair. Because people have been using these tactics in the past. So it's just from different mediums.
So you think it's fair game?
I think it's fair game. I'm just saying, I'm not a big fan. I wouldn't use it personally all the time during the season. But if it came up to the finals and there was a team that used it, just don't throw your arms up in the air because there have been tactics that have been used. It's just a different medium.
I think you bring up a good point. Where, as in, if these things got more convoluted and it starts being draft picks swapped, and it's like, oh, give me this guy because I want to beat this team, and you get questions of collusion happening.
Exactly.
Then absolutely, yeah. They
Could be something that becomes controversial.
And you don't want to jeopardize the integrity of the league. You don't want to call into question collusion. Obviously, you're probably more likely to do a loan with someone that you've got a good rapport with as well. So there's always that sort of question that comes into it. I did propose a loan to Ian Mills before I proposed one to you. I don't think he understood what I was trying to do, so that didn't quite work out. But, you know,
and this loan benefited both of us this week, so...
And I think that's the most important thing about trade.
Right.
Yeah, it benefits both of you.
Yeah.
It's not something that's one-sided. As soon as that starts happening, and maybe as soon as you start involving some draft picks, we can start having some questions raised about it. Maybe
the interesting thing...
Maybe our audience can listen to
comment down below and
when
see
it
what
comes
you
to
think.
buy rounds, it could start becoming...
I've actually thought about it in the past and I haven't done it.
so have I.
So maybe this is the year of loans, and we'll see what happens. A bit of short-term loaning.
Overwise.
Well, no, as long as there's none of that. I don't know why I just did that.
Short-term.
Yeah, that's it. Let's start up a business venture, guys. All right.
Well, we'll see if anyone has any opinions about the loans, and just keep on going as we are until something extreme happens and there's a veto involved.
Yeah, until someone turns bankrupt. Yeah. Nobody threw up their arms at the moment, thankfully. I think everybody's still probably obsessing about Ian's dumb trades, so thankfully we went a little bit on the radar this time. I would like to say, Shane, that I did gain you 53 points this week. Shane was going to start Jackson Merritt. Jackson Merritt instead of Nathan I gave him. We got only 20 points.
20 points in a full game.
Yes. So, you owe me one.
Well, part of our trade deal was that you owe me one, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, but I think that's vetoed now. I think we can see now that you are the one that owes me.
Well, you got the highest score in the league.
I just gave the top team in the league 53 extra points. So,
Well, you bring up
you're welcome, guys.
You bring up weak card, but there were a lot more significant injuries that happened this round as well.
And that's what Shane does, man. He just injures your forwards. That's why you don't want to give faults to him. Well, look, I think what's happening is there's an assassination attempt on Shane's forwards. There's obviously a hit out for them because it's happened week after week now. We had McPherson get, what was that, broken leg?
Yeah, broken leg.
So he's
10 to 12
outrageous.
weeks.
Tabiner,
Metatarsal?
yep. After like 6 to 8, I think.
I thought it was only like 4, but you know.
Maybe now. Yeah, hopefully.
Probably 4 to 8.
You give him a wingard and he breaks him straight away, or he gets sniped, assassinated.
Ping.
Ping. And Jeremy Cameron is out now for
Big toe.
1 to 2.
Big toe.
And Jesse Hogan is in question. So who would be pissed off, man? And why are they trying to take out all your forwards?
I don't know, man, but I was trying to trade forwards away 3 weeks ago, and now it's like I need forwards.
Well, when you say you're trying to trade away forwards, you're trying to trade away one particular way. Brandon Matera, yeah.
Well, and Chad Wingard. Chad Wingard's a
Just anybody want Brandon Matera? Please take Brandon Matera. Come on, man.
Oh, Brandon Matera is now my like third forward.
Well, yeah.
That's
You got a pretty good score last week. Shane's not the only one that's been rocked by injuries, though. Most of the league has. But what I find more interesting is the fact that there are a lot of people that have players that are still to play in the league. This is players that people have drafted but not actually had any games yet. We've got people like Brad Crouch, totally understandable. You're going to get a guy like that. Harley Bennell, totally understandable because someone does it every bloody year when they fall into the trap of drafting Bennell. Was that you last year?
That was me last year.
Yeah.
You hold him all
How long did
year?
you hold him for?
Good solid.
Too long.
15 rounds.
Too long. Too bloody long is the answer to that question.
Kieran's got that to look forward to.
Slightly more controversial, Sahil holding Sam Gibson and Levi Greenwood, who, I mean, he's been injured. He averaged 69 last year.
Why would you
Is that a guy that you hold
on to a tagger?
Yeah. Is he even like going to be straight into the best 22?
Played up to 6.
In a team that's been winning most of their games, how is he going to break into that? I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. Jack Biney for Steve, that's worth it. The whole Jasper Pittard for yourself,
Yeah, true.
which you've had for a long time, and now after the horrific injury to Hamish Hartley, bloody ACL training.
Everyone thought it was going to be the brain slushy. Nah, ACL.
It's pretty sad. It's looking like a great. Not happy anymore. But no regrets.
No regrets. But I mean, I'm still pretty happy with the trade because I still beat Max, and that's great. Top of the
Hamish
ladder.
Hartley did it for you. So good. Jasper Pittard could actually be beneficiary of his absence, and he's back. I think very soon.
Should be.
He should be back this week.
Yeah, should be.
Daniel Wells also waiting in the wings for you. Still hasn't played.
That 2 or 3 weeks.
And then he just added 2 random players in, Peter Wright and Liam Pickett.
2 meter Peter. Yeah.
What, he's going to save your season?
He might save Shane's season if I trade him over to Shane.
Oh,
He
yeah.
needs some portable options.
I mean, he has to have a good Apple game first.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then he has to make the team.
He's making the team, but he's 2 meters freaking
I mean,
And then he has to have a good game.
tall. And 2 meters freaking tall.
And then he has to trade to this guy. I mean, this is a long, convoluted
Hey
process.
Shane, I've got a guy that's 2 meters freaking tall. Will you like him or not?
Tom Lynch is out for the next month, so
Yeah,
there you go.
it's not a bad call.
I'm trading.
Maybe you should think about it.
trade him to you now.
For Brendan Matera?
Nick Newman.
Oh, I was just about to say Tom Lynch for 2 meter Peter. Let's go.
Well, Nick Newman is someone that's only played 2 games this season. Another one that's on pretty much the drop list. What do you think, mate?
I can have a think about it.
A guy that last year averaged in the 90s. It's
I
like,
know. Yeah.
have a think about that, guys. I think that's not a bad offer. And just explain what you think.
I was looking at the injury list for the dogs, and
You saw a guy that was out indefinitely, and you
Mark
thought,
Adams.
I'll have a bit of
Cool.
that.
Easton Wood. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, they're picking. He hasn't played at all.
It's exactly what he did, isn't it?
Yeah.
1 minute after the other. It was literally Marcus Adams, 1 minute later, drop Marcus Adams, pick up Easton Wood. 1 minute later, drop Easton Wood, pick up Liam Pickett.
I'll just see who I pick up next.
I mean, you obviously saw that the Bulldogs are playing Brisbane and Gold Coast.
I don't know if you've heard of Liberatore, but he's on the injury list.
Oh, really? Alright.
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, I'll look at him.
Yeah, give him a shot.
Yeah. Nice. Might trade for Hamish Hartland. Yeah.
But out of the people that people have held since the start of the draft, the most controversial, the one that I don't get at all, is Alec holding Darcy Lang all this time. A guy that he reached for, let's be honest, reached for in round 15. And, well, he did. And he's obviously held on to him because he reached, and he feels like he needs to get value out of him. But is that, 6 weeks you're waiting for this guy. What does he think he's going to average, like 90?
Yeah, half of a flank and a defensive line.
I mean, he changed teams.
It's a defensive role.
He has always had the potential to score really well, but couldn't break into Geelong's team. And now he's playing for Carlton, so he's potentially going to score really well because he will get game time and maybe have a better role.
Carlton is an easy team to break into, got a point there. I don't know if it's a team that scores well. So, I don't know, maybe
I mean, he's got reasons, but he probably could have dropped into the free agents for the first 4 rounds and picked him up again this week.
I don't think anybody would have touched him. I think he's the only one that's hyped up about him. As a team that's only won their first game out of the last 6, mate, you got to make a few more changes. Not that he doesn't dump out half his team every week. And try to
Well, it's his current strategy.
Yeah.
I believe I was on that strategy this time last year, so good luck to him.
So it's not been a winning strategy. So good luck to you. Alright, well I think that's, look, I did want to mention a couple of more injuries. So those are players that haven't played yet, but there have been a lot of injuries that have happened this season. I won't run through them all because in the last 6 weeks we've all been hit by them. You've had your forwards, I've had a few. Brad, who was meant to miss 1 week and he's been gone for the last 6. Yeah, you've obviously had Hamish Hartlett. There's been others in there. But the man who's been cursed the most is Ian Millsy Mills. Especially last week, and still going into this week.
Coming back from his honeymoon.
Missing Buddy Hanbury, Toby Green, Sean Higgins, Kolajasny, Liam Shields, Kay Kolajasny. Yes, very good point. And Liam Shields, of which 5 of those were drafted in his top 7 rounds, which means he only has one of his top 7 round picks remaining in his team.
But he's still winning games.
5 out of 7. 2, yeah.
He's still winning games, though.
Correct, you are. It's 4th and his 6th, yeah. He's still got remaining. But holy crap, man, how do you, well, he did. He won his game
he
last
won.
week. How did you do it? The way you do it is because you face Ian Mills.
Good timing.
How can you not beat the team that's missing the whole freaking, first batch of players? Unbelievable.
5 of the first 7.
Oh. Thankfully, I'm up against him this week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's not the first time that the injury curse has hit Millsy. I think it was really 2 years ago. And here's another moment in FMDT history.
Oh, right.
Where we actually called him the cursed man, or something along those lines.
Wow.
Let us reminisce. But also, he's just been plagued with injuries. So Dane Beams just saw 1 game. He had Bagley get injured for the season, and then he made some trades, got him Prestia injured, Barlow injured, and also Suckling injured. So all 3 guys that he bothered to trade for this season injured. So what it was actually a voodoo doll. Because well, I got it out this year, and I've just been waiting for this week to play it.
Oh no, Millsy, you got to get around there and find this doll.
So do you have that under bed or something? Or just in your underpants? Where do you put it?
In my underpants. Drawer. In my underpants.
Oh.
Nobody's gonna look at that.
Well, on that note, see you later.
Well, Jesus. All right.
Well, okay.
I don't even know about your underpants.
Yeah, right, okay.
All
Well,
right, we've had another classic Shane leaving us early, it seems. Shall we just spread out on the couch then?
yeah, let's do it. All right, sure.
All right. Look, the guy's left early because I don't think he wants to know about all the our next hot topic.
Oh, what's that?
Who have you got up this week?
Well, I've got, what have I got? I've got the cornflakes.
That's right, and that's exactly why he's run off, because he didn't want to talk about the matchup that he knows is going to destroy him.
That's all right. I've played times before. I think it was around about 2 weeks ago, just with Matt. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think he knows this is his downfall, actually, because the moment he loses to you, it's gonna be like, do you remember Max last season? He was on the top of his game, and then he didn't quite end up winning. Things didn't end up going so well for him, and this might be that turning point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it, at least. He deserves it. Well, I think one of the matches of the week would be, I mean, if you saw here, like Dunkin' Donuts versus UN Security Council. Off the win-loss kind of record, you wouldn't actually say it's a good, would be a good match, but I think Dunkin' Donuts, you know, his form has risen a bit. UN Security Council, I don't think he'll get, you know, close to 1600 this week. He seems to be a bit of more of a yo-yo team like myself. So
I could have picked a better match for match of the week myself, except I'm very much looking at I Shot the Share and Men of Steel.
oh yeah, yeah, there we go. That's a good one, rivalry match. Yeah.
That is a good one. Look, Men of Steel, I think it kind of depends on how many players I Shot the Sharing gets back this week, whether that's a close one or not. I'm kind of favouring Men of Steel there, and it's going to be really interesting in where they end up, because currently we're looking at second and third on the ladder. So this could be the people that are really challenging for that precious top 2 spot to get your buys.
Yeah, true.
Finals. But I think those are definitely the 2 matchups to look at this week.
Absolutely. And results-wise, do you think if Nick could get a victory over Ian, that could kickstart his season if he beat back in finals contention?
Absolutely.
Because it seems to be a pretty open season.
I'm pretty sure we can kick Ian to the curb.
But can that kickstart his season again? Can he just start winning games, because there's a couple that he's missed?
That's right.
Early in the season, which is very, very
Sometimes you just need to face an Ian, don't you? That's what you need in your season. Face an Ian, get your confidence back, and then off you go. You're up and running, and absolutely anything can happen.
But I lost to him.
Yeah, so that's where your season's and now you've gone downhill.
Yeah,
Actually happened.
No, I lost to Ian, and then I had another game, and then I beat the top of the ladder, Max.
Right, you did.
Yeah, so I'm just very schizophrenic.
You're all over the place, mate. We've had some position changes happen. The first week was a little underwhelming, but this week I think that there were a few that, especially certain Max, are going to be a big call. Now, before we get into them, before Cam brings them up on his
There we go. Just dealing with technology at the moment. Should be coming right up.
I'd like to mention that there were a few that actually took place on AFL Fantasy, which is sometimes a good barometer for what happens. Goddard, Whitfield, Stephen Hill, and Jordan Lewis all got defensive status on AFL Fantasy.
So did Rory Atkins.
But this was an AFL Fantasy.
Oh, sorry.
So what's translated over here is Goddard has definitely got one. None of those others have. So thank God we're not seeing all those
Not too
changes.
many defence. Yeah, we only got Goddard and Atkins just for now.
Atkins is a huge one because that's one that Alec drafted super early, copped a lot of flack for.
He tried to trade me, pawn him off, and glad that he kept it.
Well, it's not been performing. As a centre only, he probably should have dropped him. But this has just saved his season, I think.
I think so as well. Yeah, I think it's given him a little bit of hope.
That's it.
Yeah.
Brendan Goddard is obviously involved in the massive trade that Max made with Ian. So that was effectively a Goddard for Ed Curnow trade. And we posed the question to him, are you afraid of the fact that Goddard might get back status? We certainly felt it pretty strongly at the time, and it's come to fruition. I don't think he particularly was thinking about it at the time, but I mean,
I think Goddard was thinking of it at the time.
Goddard was?
Yeah, because he'd go up to the back half and give a few lectures and a bit of finger pointing and be like, I want to be at the back. and like everyone's just like, what are you doing?
I think Goddard's definitely been thinking about. I think Goddard only thinks about his stats. To be honest, that's what he seems to do.
He's just like, I'm not getting enough Ultimate Footy Dream Team points, so I want to come back to the back.
That's what he was saying to everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
kick it to me in the. Don't kick it to me in the forward line. I'm going to get forward status, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Totally misconstrued.
You've got to get that back status. Saharakis.
Selfless man.
Yeah, that's it.
Selfless.
Absolutely. Nailed it on the head. I don't know.
I honestly don't know what to expect because, like, in AFL, like, there's so many players that play different positions, so you just don't know. I honestly didn't think Braden Goddard would be back. I'd actually thought he'd get forward.
But that one I don't mind because he does play back. He does float around that area. Some of the other ones that they gave away in AFL fantasy, like Jordan Lewis in particular, I don't know if we've got enough play. Stephen Hill?
Stephen Hill, yeah.
I think I was actually right. He plays half back.
Yeah.
At the moment, so yeah.
What about Patrick Dangerfield? He plays for us.
So does Dustin Martin.
Yeah.
So ultimate footy being too conservative once again.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, is that what you think? Like, is this too conservative? Do you want them to just later out those position changes and just give them to anyone? Merry Christmas, everybody. You're a forward now. Actually, now you're a rock.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, like, it's such a...
You're a wild card kind of guy, Cam. I feel like you would just like a random position around the place.
Oh, speak my position anytime. Yeah, absolutely.
Like you say, it's a fluid game, so it's hard to define anyone into any one position. Like, we'll see what Ultimate Footy has for us in 3 weeks. Look, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks ahead. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, yeah.
Remember, there is the big 2 trophies up for grabs at the end of the season, so don't let that escape your mind.
Oh. Again, like, we'll be posting this video, so if you've got any comments just below, just comment down, and we'll be able to reply to you. If you want to be on the show as well, there's so many bars, so many ledges, and
So many more
there's so
bars
many
to go
ledges
to.
in this league as well.
We won't necessarily push you off them. We won't. Yeah.
Great, I think that's a wrap.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, everybody.
So there may or may not have been technical issues, and we may or may not have been talking to ourselves for 20 minutes. But
It's part of the many hitches that go on an FMDT afternoon.
there was a trade between you and me.